going to show you how to customize the heck out of your S24 Ultra and transform it from its boring stock look to an amazing, badass design. So by the end of this video, you will know everything on how to give your S24 Ultra a sick new style. In total, there are 8 different elements to customizing your Ultra. So let's start off with one of the most important, the wallpaper. Now, there are some tricks to getting the perfect wallpaper design. And for the first one, when you go into your wallpaper and style settings, then into your gallery to select the wallpaper image, I'd actually suggest you use an image that has a person or an animal like I did with this doggo, and I'll show you why in a moment. But then once you've selected your wallpaper, check this out. When you go into this new effects option, because you have an image of a person or animal in it, it'll actually give you a bunch of hidden background effects like grayscale, some color options, ink, or even a pastel and oil painting style. Each one has a unique, different effect on your image and can really help you get that aesthetic wallpaper look you're going for, especially the colors effect. Then the next wallpaper design trick you've got to try is with this frames option. It'll put your image into a frame which gives it more of a clean look, but what's so cool is that when you drag your image, the subject inside your image will actually pop out of the frame. And if you go into this colors tab, in here you can then change the color for the rest of the wallpaper and even remove the background inside the frame if that's more your thing. So again, you can get some super unique and clean wallpaper designs just by doing this. And you could choose to set this frame design for your home screen and lock screen, but it can get a little bit busy. So I like to use a more subtle image for my home screen wallpaper, and I'll show you why a bit later. But besides for that wallpaper design, inside your Ultra settings under Advanced Features and Labs, in here you'll actually find this hidden photo ambient wallpaper that once you turn on, will then show up inside your wallpaper settings right over here. And basically what this option will do is, if again you use an image with a person or animal, this wallpaper design will literally show you the current weather, like if it's raining or snowing, by using the sick weather effect that actually interacts with your image. You might have also seen this generative wallpaper option that uses AI to generate wallpapers for you, but you don't have full control over the final results, and it can get a little bit busy and cluttered. Now that your wallpaper is done and dusted, let's move on to the lock screen, where there are a few things you should also customize, starting with the clock by just tapping on it. So of course, there are a few different options to pick from, like a digital clock, an analog clock, calendar, or straight up no clock. But depending on your design, you can actually adjust the position and size of your clock based on your wallpaper design. Like this wallpaper option, for example, where an analog clock just looks so sick in this moon. But if you go for the digital clock type, there's a few different fonts you can choose from. But what is so cool is you can now also download additional fonts. So definitely play around with this to see which clock type, size, and font is right for your wallpaper design. Like here are a few of my favorite designs I created just to get you guys inspired, but it's really just about playing around and finding the right blend. But then besides the clock, there's also widgets, which are brand new, so there aren't many options just yet. But my favorite ones are the battery widgets, where you can see all your Samsung devices, and also the weather widget, which have a bunch of different options like UV level, moon phase, and the current temperature, which are quite nifty. You can also add these corner app shortcuts, like a shortcut to Spotify or WhatsApp, for example. But if you want a cleaner look, you don't even have to use these. So once you're done customizing the lock screen, it's time to move on to customizing the always on, which has actually had a huge upgrade on the S24 Ultra. Firstly, if you head into your settings, then into lock screen and always on display settings, in here, make sure to turn on lock screen wallpaper and erase background. Because now, whenever you lock your Ultra, your wallpaper and lock screen design will always stay visible instead of disappearing. And if you have a person or animal on your wallpaper, its background will automatically vanish and make your always on look a little bit more aesthetic, which is a super nifty feature because it really brings out your Ultra's personality even when the screen is turned off. So for now, whatever your theme or style is, your design should be coming along really nicely, but we're just getting started. So let's move on to the S Pen, which is the fourth customization element, and what are some of my favorite designs for it. So to customize it, you'll have to use Good Luck that you can just get from the Galaxy store. But if you can't get Good Luck, then definitely check out my Good Luck video, because in there I show you exactly how you can get it. So once you have installed it, let's jump into it and open up Pentastic, where we can basically give the S Pen its own design, like this pointer, for example, where they have a few options. But if you go into custom, then gallery, you can actually choose your own image. Like I made this one of a glowing orb, which will give the pointer its own design for when you're busy navigating around with the S Pen. Then to complete the S Pen style, we can also choose to give it its own custom sound effect for when you remove the pen from the Ultra and also put it back in. So now whenever you remove the S Pen and put it back in, you got some sick sounds to match your aesthetic. And here are a few other designs just to give you guys some inspo. But now let's give the keyboard a bit of a makeover to better suit your design. And to do that, we'll need to use Good Luck again, but this time we're going to use Keys Cafe, where you'll find this option to style your own keyboard. In here, you can choose from a bunch of different theme colors that best suit your overall design and aesthetic. Like for me, it was this kind of pale blue design. And once you've applied it, to test it out, you can click this keyboard icon to see if it's a yay or nay. But once you've chosen your color, let's move on to the fun part, and that's the custom effects. Because in here, you can choose your background color effect, a key effect, and even a key motion effect. On top of that, you can even choose a custom color palette, so you can design your own or choose from a pre-made one. Then lastly, all you gotta do is choose from one of these key press sounds from the list, and once you're done, you should have a keyboard that fits your design a lot better than the stock keyboard. And regardless of whether you want it to be super colorful or more minimalistic, it just makes typing a lot more fun. But there is one more keyboard setting I'd suggest you change inside your sound and vibration, then system vibration settings. In here, you can turn the vibration intensity all the way to max, which will actually increase your keyboard haptics, which is a great little hidden keyboard feature. Then before we close Good Luck, there's one more thing we can do with it using Sound Assistant, and that's to make your own volume panel. So you can either choose from one of these simple themes, or you can go next level and go with one of these lighting effect styles that just looks so damn cool and kind of turns your volume panel into a disco ball. As you can see, there are a few different lighting effect styles you can pick from based on your design aesthetic. So if you want something really colorful or something more subtle and minimal, there's options for either one. And what I also really like about this is that it allows you to pick a controller type. So if you wanted, instead of having a normal volume bar, you could have a volume knob which also vibrates as you turn the volume up and down, making it feel a lot more realistic. So now that the volume bar is looking sweet, the Ultra's aesthetic should be shaping up pretty good. Then another really important element to bring your whole design together is app icons. Specifically changing their color palette based on the colors your Ultra picked up from your wallpaper. There's quite a couple different options to choose from, and don't forget to toggle on Apply Palette to App Icons. All these changes also affect your theme colors like in your quick panel and helps tie into your design. This just makes everything look so good. The only problem is all the apps kind of look really similar, so you do have to use muscle memory, but you kind of get used to it very quickly. And another thing I like to do is change my home screen grid size to 5:6. So up till now, your design is almost complete, but there is one more thing we can do for finishing touches. And that is adding some widgets to your home screen, which can actually make a massive difference. Specifically, the gallery widget, my favorite one, which you can use to select images from your gallery and style your home screen with. There are so many different designs you can create with this widget to give your home screen some more personality. But here are a few of my favorite designs, like this fantasy and lo-fi design, to help you guys get started. I also really like to use the gallery widget to put up quotes or affirmations on my home screen to keep me inspired, and another few widgets I'd suggest you guys use is the Spotify widget, which actually ties into the color palette you chose earlier. And I also like to stack it with the ChatGPT widget. This way I can have my Spotify and ChatGPT on the home screen to quickly open up while still keeping everything nice and clean. So now that you've seen how to customize all 8 different elements, you should have a totally unique and completed S24 Ultra design based off of your own unique style and taste. And here are a few designs I made by following all these exact steps I just showed you guys. And honestly, as you can see, you can get some really sick setups. And by the way, if you want even more inspiration, you can check out my website haylsworld.com for some sick wallpapers. There is still so much more you can customize on your Samsung, so make sure to check out these videos, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!